For 2025, what I wish for you is a healthier version of yourself. This morning, to help us discuss how we can get there, I welcome Dr. Joanne Paul, Pediatric Emergency Specialist. Good morning to you, Dr. Paul.
Hi, Rocca. It's always a great time when I'm talking to you, man. Definitely. Mm-hmm.
And I want to say all the best to you for 2025 as we kick things off. It's our first conversation for the year, and I know it's going to go well, but I wish you all the best for the year, of course.
Yeah. I think 2025 is gonna be well. Hi to everybody in Trinidad. I think 2025 is gonna be an eventful year, and I want us to more be prepared. I think we're gonna have the three C's increasing. Not just well with crime, we had the SOE, so I'm expecting and hoping that that'll have a major impact. But it's not just crime; it's our reaction to crime. Crime is making real stress, right? Especially as females. I know I get stressed by crime. So we have the first C as crime. The second C, Rockers, to think about for this 2025 is cardiovascular. And I speak to all my heart specialists, and they tell me, I know we know this, huh? They tell me that at least one third of the population, 33%, will be in some way having a heart issue and come to them. They say in 2025, they expect to see at least one third of the population coming to see them for any reason. So that means out of three of you guys on set, one of you guys, one in three, might have a heart issue, right? And the third thing is cancer. I saw that recently they mentioned about alcohol being a risk factor for cancer. Everything now is a risk factor, what you eat, drink. So I'm saying for this 2025, we're looking at heart, cardiovascular, cancer, and crime, the effects, the stress of it, as really big deals to have something that affects you mentally and physically and emotionally.
Now, Dr. Paul, you mentioned the three C's and give us a nice broad overview of the three of them, but I want to dig down into some of the details. Let's start with the first one. You mentioned crime and our stress response to crime. And for me, what you're saying here, the three seem to be linked because I imagine that stress would have an impact on your cardiovascular and potentially giving you that response that would lead to cancer as well. So tell me how we can lead, how can we start off things in a more positive way or with as little stress as possible and how we respond to things like the state of the country, state of crime in the country.
Well, that's the thing. So one of my acronyms is MESSY, and I appreciate what you're saying. They all three link, right? I'll go back to that. So, when you're walking along, as I said, mostly for us females, it meant to her, but I know when I'm driving along, normal time, 7 o'clock, you're just so aware of all the news and all the things who got shot right here, this year. So you're always looking back. So your stress response is always heightened, which means that your glucose level and your blood pressure level, so your sugar and your heart, your blood pressure, sugar and pressure. Although I hate saying these words, so we have to know the real terms. Glucose level and your blood pressure levels are always heightened, which means that once you're having sugar passing through all the time, you're having your heart, and no matter if you're calm, etc. But if you're always anxious and worried about this and that, which we are in terms of crime, then of course that means your heart risk is always up, and that connects to that. And of course, what happens with cancer too? If you have women cardiovascular, if you're overweight, or if you're having high blood pressure or sugar, they all not, as you said, is very linked. It makes your heart risk be increased and your cancer risk increase. So therefore, if your blood pressure is always up, you're anxious, all those, you're always in a stress response all the time, then that makes your cancer risk increase aside from what you eat, alcohol, etc. So we really want to, I really want to talk today about being positive for the year. And I want to talk about two acronyms. I have a hard one and a simpler one. So the first one is messy. I know,
Right.
you're curious. Curious.
Talk to me, what's messy?
So the first one, it's real simple. I know we always say the harder stuff or the simpler stuff, right? It's not really hard. It's just simple stuff to think about. Messy. The M stands for meditation. If you can think about that every day, so if you can meditate or do mindfulness or do your prayer, I'm talking about every day. Set your mind down to put your brain to a simple set, so therefore you're less stressed. So do the first M. Then the E is exercise. And you know it's going to be that, right? Because he's always that, right? I'm not talking about like serious gym, I'm trying to pump up or anything. I'm talking about if you give me 20 minutes, 25 minutes, a walk, something every day that makes your risk go down a bit. The first S, is standing for social. If you're isolated, you're gonna be stressed all the time. If you can say here, what I have to connect with somebody, we're very social beings. So if you connect with someone, you go online here, relax, do some family thing. No matter how hard you're working, make sure every week or every day you put aside some time for family and socialization. The second S is for sleep. And so if you can, the thing about sleep is so important. Sleep is like clean out your house. What happens during sleep is your brain washes away everything. And so therefore you're reset. And so that's what the second S stands for. And the last one, the I, stands for intimacy or sex, right? But it's really about intimacy. It's not about doing anything major. It's just you cuddle up with your loved one. Once you have that, it makes you relax. So if you can go from Messi, the footballer, and just follow every day, give some Messi. That's the thing to start off with. And a
Nice.
simple one. If you can't Messi, I have a simple one for you.
You have a simpler one than the Messi. Messi is the hard one?
Yeah, Messi. I want it to be simple this year, right? 1 3/4 20. If you can't remember anything, just remember those three letters. 1 minute per day to give me some prayer or mindfulness or whatever it is. One
Okay.
minute to set down. 3/4. If you want to reduce, just remember eat 3/4 of your plate of food. Don't think about I'm not sure about vegetables, whatever. All I want you to do is just say whatever plate you get, whatever roti size you get, 3/4. You have KFC? Well, I don't really want KFC or Royal Castle, but try whatever it is, start off with just 3/4. And
But
then
so,
the other thing, sorry.
what happened to the other quarter of the meal? It
Well,
just
I'm
sounded
saying,
like wastage. We should
yeah,
take out three quarter what we would normally take out.
take out, yeah. I will say take out 3/4. You're right. Take out three
All right.
quarter. Just try to have your meal size cut down to 3/4. Don't
Okay.
worry about it'll stop. Just go with that, right? And the
Right.
last thing is 20. 20. You know what the 20 is for? 20 minutes. People talk about the complications. I can't exercise. I can't do this. I'm saying to people, right? If you want to live longer, to see your grandchildren, your children. If you also want to live healthier, you don't want to be going, you can't see, you can't walk, you can't enjoy life. I'm saying make 2025 the year of reckoning, the year of you saying, hey, I want to change something. I'm saying start off with simple. Idea do messy. If you can't remember that, do 1 3/4 and 20. Easy, small steps.
All right. And these steps you're saying will help us to be able to manage the stress related to what we might be consuming every day as it relates to crime. But it would also help to solve some of the cardiovascular issues that we may be facing. Aside from stress, Doc, what else causes these cardiovascular issues that, 1/3 of the population is going to be having them?
Yeah. So, but first of all, diabetes, that's the biggest stress, right? And not just diabetes, uncontrolled sugar, which all of us are, especially for Christmas time, black cake, a little pastel here, a little extra, whatever it is, high blood pressure, obesity, a large proportion of our population are overweight, alcohol drinking, smoking, and vaping. And also, although we just normally also eating crap, like for instance, when they found all those preserved things, all those extra stuff that we eat, those also give you, those things when you look at the label, you can't understand what it has. The ingredients is some kind of whatever it is, tree oxy, whatever. Once you see that, once you can't read it, you know it's trippiness. All right. So once you have all those things, when they come into your system, they also it causes your genes, your DNA, and your system to break down. It's toxic for you. And once you have that increased toxic chemicals, it makes you at risk for cardiovascular and for cancer. All right. And so therefore, even for instance, but we also discussed about microplastics. If you always drinking some bottled water that stuck in the sun for a long time, a little bit of those plastic stuff come into your system. So I'm talking about take your tap water. But the main thing is go back to basics. Use your provisions. Use your basic stuff. Nothing to preserve. But aside from that, you have to do it holistically. Do mental health, emotional health, physical health, eat properly, and of course, exercise. Real basic, Roscoe's real basic. But if I'm gonna try it for this new year, or at least continue it, I'm saying to the population, join with me. I really want throughout all the bacchanal for this year. I really want us to be better at our health. I want less of you meeting me in the emergency department. I don't want to see you. I want you to stay home and take care of yourself.
I like that energy. You don't want to see them for the new year. Let them stay home. But Doc, one of the things that people always complain about is that I might start off saying, I'm gonna do my meditation, I'm gonna do my exercise, I'm gonna socialize a little bit more, I'm gonna get more sleep, I'm gonna be more intimate, and I do it for the first week, the first 2 weeks, we're going good. And then we get into the height of carnival and I don't have time to sleep anymore. I don't have time to meditate anymore. The exercises when I'm winding low in the fet alone. And how do we get the discipline, or what can you say to encourage us to be more disciplined going forward with it so that we maintain it even throughout the season and afterwards?
Yeah, they speak about that in terms of making sure you maintain, don't go to the other end of the pendulum and don't go crazy. Eating about 3 salads every day, that kind of thing. Especially with carnival, we're going to go crazy, right? All you do is a small change every time. So you list out what you can change your daily life and do that for about 2 weeks. And every 2 weeks, make a different small change. So therefore, if you can do 1 minute ruckus, you get up in the morning time and do it when you get up or when you're going to bed. So 1 minute per day, you're doing mindfulness or meditation or your prayer, right? Wake up, what do you do? You exercise. I don't want anything aside from 20 minutes now. I mean, I want more, but let's work with that. 20 minutes, really easy. Okay, 15. But the thing about 20 is that that's when your body starts to break down things, break down fat, etc. So that's why I want that 20-minute cutoff. It could be anything. If you say you're going to be walking for 20 minutes, if you promise yourself that, sleep, give me a little 6 hours, nothing. Even if you can't give me that, give me 5.5. But at least every 2 weeks, you increase slowly. All right. Of course, intimacy, that's your choice. Socialization, I don't want every time, once a week. That's all I'm asking for. Half an hour, once a week. Surely you can go by Tanti and say, hey, Tanti, babes, what are you doing? Once a week. But start off small, and as we go along, and allow life intervene. If you have to go to the party, don't be like, oh my God, I'm going to the party. No, no, no. Just say, okay, the party happened. And the next day, I'm going to go back to my small thing because, Ruckus, I'm telling you, they know it's a long game. If we don't start this now or continue it, we will be in hospital. You don't want to have that. I'm talking about like your diabetes, you can't walk, you're falling down, you have a break hip here, you're having a heart attack. And the thing is that you want to see your loved one, the same loved ones you're making all the money for. You want to see them, you want to take care of them, you want to be with them. And we're all going to die, but just you know that you want to have it where when you're living, that's your best life ever. Okay?
I fully agree with you there. We definitely want it to be our best life ever, and we want to make decisions now that would have the impact that would last for as long as possible. Doc, I want to thank you so much for joining us this morning. Before we wrap up, though, the cancer aspect of the 3 Cs, this suggestion, the messy suggestion, or even the 1, 3/4, and 20, this would also help reduce the risk of cancer?
You found the same thing. It's really amazingly linked up. The things that cause them, and it's the same solution, same cause of agents. They find the same thing: your diabetes, your overweight, your blood pressure, you're eating crap, you're drinking crap, you're drinking alcohol, you're stressed. All those make your system go out of whack, makes you at risk of cancer. And even if by chance you know the incidence of cancer increasing, if you can make yourself healthier, then you're able to fight cancer even better. But I want the prevention aspect. So do your things, go do your pap smear, your mammograms, your ultrasound, your prostate check, your PSA, but also make your body ready to face anything because this year, Ruckus, this year is going to be a eventful year, definitely.
Definitely going to be an eventful year. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Dr. Paul. Always giving great advice, and I look forward to more conversations throughout the year.
Your request, thanks. It's always great talking to you, always.
Take
Yeah.
care. Enjoy your day.